So today I'm going to be showing you the 7th LEGO Harry Potter diorama MOC I have made in my 8-part mini-series where I create a LEGO movie scene diorama based on each of the 8 Harry Potter movies. I began this MOC series after I took inspiration from LEGO's recent 18+ diorama sets for both the Jurassic Park and Star Wars franchises, and because Harry Potter is one of the biggest movie franchises of all time and one of LEGO's best selling themes, I believe that there's grounds and also justification for LEGO to create these 18+ style dioramas for the LEGO Harry Potter theme. So considering I'm a LEGO Harry Potter YouTuber, I thought I'd create some concept 18+ Harry Potter diorama sets to show exactly what LEGO could do if they decided to go down this route with the Harry Potter theme. Now so far we've had Devil's Snare, the Slithering Common Room, Dementors at the Quidditch match, the Dark Mark, the Unexpected Fireworks, and also the Lightning Struck Tower. But now we have one from the Deathly Hallows Part 1, so without further ado, let's get into today's video. Now originally for the Deathly Hallows Part 1 diorama I was going to recreate the scene towards the end of the film in Malfoy Manor, where Dobby the house elf rescues Harry Potter and his friends. The elements I wanted integrated were some of the tiled floor for the base, with one wall built up with maybe a fireplace and a portrait on it, supporting the ceiling in which a vast chandelier would be hanging with Dobby placed there, unscrewing it from the roof. I would also have Bellatrix Lestrange and Hermione below it, and maybe some other minifigures such as Harry, Ron, Luna, Griphook, Ollivander, Lucius, Narcissa, Draco, or even some of the Snatchers like Fenrir Greyback. However, the issue is, these minifigures are quite expensive. Even if you only include the necessary and essential minifigures in this scene, they're still quite pricey. Bellatrix Lestrange, for example, costs £12 or $15 alone on sites like Bricklink and eBay, and I don't want people to have to fork out that sort of money for individual minifigures just to build one of these diorama MOCs in this series. Also, the whole look of Malfoy Manor is very, well, black, and that's it. The diorama would end up being just one colour essentially, and it ended up not looking all that appealing as a display model that someone would want on their desk or bedside cabinet. So I decided that instead of building this Malfoy Manor scene, I would start again, and instead zone in on one particular scene at the start of this Deathly Hallows movie, and that's the 7 Potter scene where Voldemort and his Death Eaters intercept the convoy taking Harry Potter to the safety of the Burrow, specifically the scene where Voldemort himself tries and fails to kill Harry Potter with the killing curse. Obviously, this scene takes place in mid-air as they are flying. Voldemort under his own weight as he doesn't need a broomstick to fly, while Harry was flying with Hagrid on Sirius's old motorbike. Because of these factors, I intended to utilise a building technique that I have previously used in previous diorama MOCs in this series. And that's the perspective building technique where the objects in the background of the scene that are far away would be built at micro scale, while the actual action would be built at minifigure scale. I used this technique for the Prisoner of Azkaban and Order of the Phoenix diorama MOCs, and I now intend to utilise it here. But before we get into showing you the different segments of the final model, if you are enjoying this video so far, please leave this video a thumbs up, and if you are not already subscribed, please hit that button below to change that, because it really helps me out, and with your support I can make more videos like this one. So the actual scenery and surroundings for this scene are a pretty typical English countryside with your usual roads, fields, farms and also electric pylons, which Voldemort ends up destroying in rage when he fails to kill Harry. So this is the backdrop I knocked up, and it includes all of the elements I mentioned before, including the pylons, for which I have used dark tan wand pieces on clips, which I think works well. The next thing to construct was Hagrid's flying motorcycle, and of course the side pod which attached onto it. For this connection I used a Technic arm which holds the pod in place and is a very sturdy connection. The design itself is quite bare bones, but that's how the side pod section is in universe. So I've talked you through the process of how I made the final model and 2 subsections of the build. Now it's time for me to show you the final finished model in its entirety. How good does this look? I'm so glad I decided to build this scene instead of Malfoy Manor. This to me would be a fantastic display piece to have on your desk or wherever you want. It captures such an iconic scene where Voldemort tries to kill Harry with the two spells intercepting each other's in mid-air. To make this model work as a set, you would need the minifigures of Harry, Hagrid and Voldemort, which are fairly easy to obtain. It costs less than $10 on Bricklink to obtain all of these minifigures. So if you get your hands on these figures, then do be inclined to go to my website in the description down below and download the instructions for this MOC. On the box art design I have made for this set, you can see the quote Avada Kedavra uttered by Voldemort imprinted on the 2x6 tile on the front, like I have done for all the previous diorama models I have made in this MOC series. If you have any suggestions for what diorama I should make for the 8th and final part of this MOC series based on Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, then leave them down below in the comment section. If you haven't seen my most recent video where I go over my plans for June and where to download the instructions for all my previous LEGO Harry Potter MOCs, then click the video on screen now. A big thank you to Sue Penn, Lucas Hatch, Kay Crossley, TopicBricks, who are all tier 3 members of the channel. I'll see you tomorrow for another LEGO Harry Potter video. I'll see you there.